Hey, folks, we're just having a few technical difficulties here, but we should be along shortly. And stick around. So, waiting for Jack to show up and various other surprises. So, I know the ticker says 5:30 start time. Might be more like 5:38. So, round up a beer or two. I'm not condoning anything excessive here, but and we'll be back. What good timing. What good timing.
All right. I think we got it, but I got to start texting.
Okay. Well, we're live. We're on the air.
Good.
We're going. Yeah, absolutely.
What is with that groove?
What we're listening to right now? It's a song called Alto Glide. That's right.
At least we don't have to worry about AJ.
Who? I've heard of him.
Are you
What's
going
going
to add
on,
him?
sir?
Good.
What's that? Do not add him. No, do not add AJ.
Why not?
Because we have to. There's bits of business to take care of first.
What?
Well, because most people probably think this is a regular show tonight.
Why would they ever think that?
Well, some version thereof of regularity. Assuming that you've had your fiber, your Metamucil, this could be a regular show.
What are you?
We're doing something different tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Well,
What did Mel suggest you do an imitation of? I know you saw it.
I don't know if I saw it.
The This Is Your Life guy. He said, is Bulldog going to wear a checkered?
As close as I could come was a traditional button down here.
That is pretty radical for you.
It is. But I don't normally wear a Milwaukee Brewers hat to the show.
Okay.
And there's probably a reason for that.
Because?
Ask me the reason.
Why?
Go ahead, ask me the reason.
Go ahead. Why?
This is a big night. We are celebrating a single certain person. I realize, of course, that the moniker of this show foolishly is the Jack Henke Show. I don't know what the hell we were thinking. we came up with that.
We weren't, obviously.
But nonetheless, we might as well call tonight the AJ Bocchini Show.
What?
Yes.
No way. He's everywhere. And I was going to try and take this show over too.
Well, it's a pretty aggressive takeover. And I thought, it's been some time since we've had AJ on the show. We've known him, and
you bring him on. I've got to try and do some damage control here.
Okay, do some damage control.
Yeah.
All right.
I just got this.
And I'll bring on the boys. Hello, Bocchini gentlemen.
What's up? Can you hear us?
How you doing, AJ? And hello, Doug.
Can you hear us on this end?
I'm here. You sound great.
Okay.
Absolutely. What's going on in your neck of the woods? You guys out? Looks like you might be out there in Kohler.
No, we're in Dad's office in Menominee Falls.
Menominee Falls. Well, I see. I guess Kohler's involved, though.
Yeah. So.
I hope I didn't get Doug in trouble already.
All right. That's okay.
All right. Good. AJ, do you have any idea what's going on tonight?
No, I don't.
That's perfect. We wanted to keep you as much in the dark as possible. And I think we are mildly successful at that. We had every intent. We welcomed you on the show. It's been a couple of years now, right?
Yes. Sure.
And you've been regretting that decision, I'm sure.
No.
ever since.
No.
But I thought we would do a completely and utterly celebratory AJ Love Fest tonight. Explosive, huge ratings bonanza. I mean, as the manager and curator of CPL Radio here at the Cedarburg Public Library in Cedarburg, Wisconsin, You know, it's incumbent upon me to always go after the ratings. So a show like this is always a bonanza. You know, they've done it before in the past on television with like Battle of the Network Stars and The Love Boat and Fantasy Island. And so tonight, AJ, dare I say, this is your life. We will be bringing on a slew of guests. And we had a little technical problem initially, so hopefully those guests will still make it on. This is all very, very targeted and coordinated, and multiple people involved in various countries across this fine globe of ours. And of course, here at 0 Hour, StreamYard, the platform we record on, dropped the ball and lost our link. So therefore, ergo, we're all panicking and losing our minds, but hopefully we can recover from this small technical glitch to hopefully make you feel honored and loved. Not that you weren't already. You know where you stand. You know that everyone adores you. It's not like you need us to do that, but we're doing it anyway. So there we go. Beyond that, as we wait for Jack to finally, kind of dot the I's and cross the T's. How was your day today? What do you got for us? What do you? How things go?
Well. I actually went over to Mel's today.
Okay.
Went over to Mel's, picked up a Special Olympics T-shirt, and
very good.
Went over to Mel's. Did not get caught in the rain because I have my poncho on. So.
We had a little drama out here in Ozaki County. A little flash.
Just a little bit.
It was wild. Yeah, the trees in my backyard looked like they were praying. They were just all swooped and kind of bending towards their maker. But that's okay. The bulk of them survived, and that is good. It's brief too. It wasn't even like this massive. It was like 8 minutes of trauma, and then we were fine. And the sun came out a few hours later, and it was like it never happened.
8 minutes of fun, right?
Yeah. So as you can see, I'm wearing some of your colors tonight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't normally do that, mostly because it's not in the employee handbook here. I'm already taking great risk for you all. So, did you guys losing my audio there?
No, we're just trying to see if I can help Jack out here.
Oh, very good. Okay, cool. Great. Hopefully it's going well. People are scrambling behind the scenes. I love that. I love it when people scramble behind the scenes. It gives me this weird power trip. So anyway, so I guess for our story, for our side of things, a couple years ago, I believe I approached Jack and said, you know what our show is missing? And Jack had this long list, this litany. I mean, just like endless laundry list of things our show is missing. I said, no, that's not it. We're missing a sports guy. And Jack, I think, reached out, or Mel reached out to Jack, or Jack reached out to Mel. Somehow the connections were made. And I remember your first show, and I think it was just you and I for a little while. And I thought, oh boy, I don't know what I'm doing. What have I done? I still was trying to figure the show out, how it all worked. And then, but you were immediately endearing and delightful. And I think after the show, I called Jack and said, well, we got him for life. So that's a good thing.
Bulldog, it's been a wild ride. We've been at this for over 2 years now.
About that, yeah. Was it July? Was it July of
July 5th, 2022.
You have the exact date. That's awesome. Day after the Independence Day. Very good.
Yes, sir. We actually did a dry run July 4th. I remember that.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
On July 4th, and it was just crazy. So
I probably have that somewhere. I should dust it off at some point and donate it to the Smithsonian or whatever museum collects these sorts of things.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Well, before we get into this, because again, our people are scrambling here to spread around the new link, the fresh new link, hot off the press. Why don't you do what you do best, and why don't you give us a quick sports rundown, because that's what you do on this show. We might as well show people what you do, and then we can show you what we do.
Yes, sir. So we got so today was Packers cut day, so that was the big story of the day. They did end up cutting Anders Carlson, the kicker that everyone loved last year.
Really?
Yeah, they cut him. I read a stat today. He missed 13 kicks between this year and last year. So They cut.
They don't like that. They like you to, if you're going to kick, they want you to make them, I'm assuming.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's the one.
Even I know that as a non-football fan, that if you're going to kick the ball, you better get between the two lines there.
That's the number one goal. So yeah,
So important.
We'll see but they did cut down to 53 today, so they got 2 weeks before Brazil, and it should be a interesting year. So it should be
I
fun.
take it they have a kicker in the wings.
Yeah, they got Greg Joseph from the Vikings, so
Okay.
they kept him, but they cut Carlson, and they cut both quarterbacks from the preseason that they had. So,
And how are we feeling about this Viking booter?
he's okay.
Okay.
He'll be solid. Well, my one concern is he kicked indoors. So most of his career. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. Cool. What else you got?
We got Brewers tonight. They start a 3-game series against San Francisco. And,
Excellent.
They need a win because they're still chasing that second wild card. That's not second wild card. Second first round bye spot.
Yeah.
They need a win.
Let me ask you this, and it's this is kind of a loaded question, but how are you feeling about things? Again, it's really hard not to be pessimistic. I know we've got a massive lead. There's just there's no reason not to think that this is all going to work out well.
Right.
Except
you got a month to play, right?
Except that.
Except you got a month to play, right?
Right, exactly.
So it feels like September, but it's not.
Right.
And it's one of the things where you almost get a big enough lead that you feel comfortable in the division, but you don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable in the number 3 spot right now.
Yeah.
I'd like to get the number 2 spot, but that's just me. I'd like to get the first round bye because we all know what happened last year.
Right.
In the first 2 games of the playoff, we got bounced at home. So
Absolutely.
we all know what happened last year, so we know
A bit of insurance would be nice.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. So
Cool. All right. And what's your forecast for the 3-game series coming up?
2 out of 3.
Okay.
First 2 tonight. I think they'll lose on Wednesday.
Okay.
Thursday.
You basing that off of starting pitching or what?
No, I'm just basing that off of my gut feeling.
Guts. All right. Well, if we learned anything on this show, it's trust AJ's guts.
Right. I think they'll win the first 2. So
excellent. All right. Excellent. Anything else you got cooking?
Well, we got Badger football coming Friday, but so that should be fun. Friday night game at Camp Randall. First time with beer sales at Camp Randall Bowl.
Oh, what can go wrong, AJ?
Yeah, I know, right? First time a night game at Camp Randall with beer sales. What could go wrong?
That's a very old stadium. I don't want that to be a crumbled wreckage Saturday morning. I'm worried. No, hope for the best. I'm gonna check in with Jack and see how things are going. Let's see here. Jack, how are things going? Oh, he doesn't even know he's on. All right, good.
Yeah, I'm trying to work through some things here.
Okay.
I'm trying to find my sent message from last night because the emails are not heading out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack, what's new?
Not much. We got the later shift taken care of, but for some reason, Doug, the early stuff didn't go. I know.
I'm trying to find my sent messages, and I'm trying to find the one that I sent out to the group from yesterday because for some reason the email that I have now is not going out. So
I hear that. Hang on, I'm gonna try another trick, Doug. Hang on. Well, look, I'm gonna go back off.
Best laid plans here, folks. It seemed on paper like it was going to work wonderfully. But I did not take into account that StreamYard would time out links. So, yeah.
So I'm going to keep plugging away here.
All right, you plug. I'm going to keep interviewing our man of the hour here. So, AJ, in a most guilty fashion, I must come to you and say I have the earliest pages that you've generated recently, but I've been swamped at work. But I'm hoping I have a couple days off, and I want to get to your material, which is my segue to saying, how's the writing going? Because for those of you who are tuning in regularly, may not know that AJ is an author, a published author as well, and that's very exciting. And how is the new project coming along?
It's coming along. It's coming along. I keep adding to it. Hold on. There is no end in sight right now, so I keep adding to it.
We're getting epic here, are we? Fantastic.
No. So I keep adding to it.
Okay. No writer's block, no running into any walls here. Everything's going the way it should.
I keep adding to it, so it's going on.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. You're using a voice like text generator, right?
I'm using my iPad.
Okay.
And then I put it in a Google Doc and send it to you and my parents. And
okay.
So So
cool. Excellent.
Going really well.
Nice.
For those who want to know, it's going to be called Life on the Roll, and it's basically it's not finished 2.0, but it's basically my version of my experiences in Ozaki County.
Cool.
So it should be a good time. So I'm excited.
As your adoring fans will want to know, do we have a potential target date for completion, or are we just hoping for the best right now and plowing ahead?
We're swinging for the fences right now, Bulldog.
All right.
So we don't have a target date for completion yet.
Okay.
We do have someone that's lined up that can print it. But,
oh, nice. Oh, cool. Excellent. And kicking around ideas for like cover designs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But
excellent. Cool. Fantastic. All right. Well, and your prior book, Finish.
Yes, sir.
That came out. What year did that drop? As the cool kids say.
2017.
2017. Excellent. Copies still available if somebody wanted to snag.
Copies still available. WBCA clinic coming up. So coaches, if you're out there listening, I'll have copies with me at the
excellent
WBCA clinic.
Nice. And you do have a website, I hear.
Yes, agentbooking.com.
I hear it looks a lot like that.
It does.
Fantastic. Cool. And going through your website, one could certainly pick up a copy that way on the shop tab.
We got wristbands. We got copies of the book. We got, so we got multiple options there for you.
Without a doubt. Got an Audible option as well right here.
Yes, sir.
Very cool. The Audible version was read by that guy sitting next to you, correct?
Yeah.
I brought it up. I went there.
No. I just, for some reason, I keep going, and this is the original. And for some reason, I got this one out this morning, and it is not sending out. Won't let me send out to these people.
I'm at the same message, Doug. It says failure to send for some reason, and I don't know what the deal is. I think maybe I have too many recipients on it.
This is why we only do one special show per year because we might not be zoned sometimes for this, but we're going to pull this off either way.
Just keep going.
One way or the other. All right, there we go. Fantastic. So AJ, with autumn coming, are you going to be doing any coaching this year?
Yeah, I'll be doing Homestead again this year. I'll be doing Homestead study hall and coaching. So
are you doing study hall as well?
Yes, sir.
Which is a version of coaching because you have to be able to like give someone the eye if they're up to something.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Are you able to nip shenanigans in the bud?
Oh, Bulldog. No, that's not for me.
No? Okay.
I got an assistant that does all that.
Oh, see, that's great. Because all you have to do is say, hey, guys, I love you all, but you're not behaving, so let me turn the assistant loose on you.
Yeah, and she's new, so it should be good.
Oh, good. She's hungry.
He or she is new, so it should be good.
Yeah, that'll be good. Make sure you get her nightstick and her flashlight and her keys and all that kind of stuff.
So my first day at school is September 16th.
Oh, very good. Okay. Fantastic. And then what's your first day of actual coaching? That same
November 18th.
Okay, cool. And this is your third year running on that, right?
Yes, sir. Third year running.
Okay. Fantastic. Cool. And you guys had a fantastic year last year, did you not?
We did. We won 22 games.
Wow.
And we lost in the sectional semifinal by a point. So,
man. So in theory,
to a team that had won 48 straight games. So,
and what are you gonna do about that? You know, I mean, come on. So
we lost a lot, but we should be good too. We should be good.
Yeah, right on, right on. Are you going to be retaining a lot of people from last year, or do you a big changeover? What's up?
Big turnover, but
Okay.
a lot of youth, so it should be good.
Okay.
So,
malleable young people who can be molded and crafted.
Yeah.
To
I think in about not to discredit this year, but in about a year or two, we'll be really good.
Fantastic, cool.
Because we'll be all that older.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
me as well.
Yeah, me as well. I'll be 34 by that time.
Yeah,
so.
there you go. I expect to be outstanding in 2 years as well.
Yeah.
So that's the game plan. The overall game plan.
It's funny, Bulldog. The only thing missing on my resume is the trip to Madison. I want everything else. Everything else I've been fortunate to be a part of.
That's
We've been able to be successful with a group with a giant group of people. So
yeah,
great. So
yeah, fantastic, cool. Well, so you've had a good summer.
Yes, sir.
Did some speaking engagements?
I had 2 this summer.
Okay. Excellent.
2 this summer, and then I got 1 in October. So
nice. Cool. Oh, you got 1 in October coming up.
Yeah, I got the WBCA, Wisconsin Basketball Coaches Association.
Oh, cool.
In October in the Dells. So.
That's a good. On the Dells.
Yeah.
Man, nice digs.
At just the game, actually, the facility where they host the MAC Fun game.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
cool.
Be good.
Cool. With your speaking gigs, is that something that you change up every time, or do you kind of?
No, I got a video that plays in a Q&A session.
Yeah.
But I change the Q&A based on who I'm speaking to.
Which the group is, yeah, exactly. I got to ask you, what's the most surprising question you've ever gotten in a Q&A? Besides this one.
No, what's the most challenging thing you've ever been through? And my answer is COVID. During COVID, for those who don't know, I went through major depression.
Yeah.
And I struggled a lot. And I actually moved in the middle of COVID too.
Sure.
So,
not ideal. But yeah, no, I hear you. Excellent. Let me check with Jack and see how things are going here. Sure. How are things, Jack?
About the same.
Okay.
Although our first guest is just about coming out of order, but she'll be joining us momentarily.
When it's all on fire, you take what you can get.
That's right. So take me back off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be
all
back.
Right. Very good.
I'm going to see if I can get a few guys that I may have just.
All right. Well, while we wait, let me see.
Well, Doug, we're just a couple of minutes from a few who are going to be on later. They're coming in earlier, and
sure,
you can fill the void, which would be good.
Well, I'm definitely the void.
You are the void.
I feel very void-like.
AJ,
yes, sir.
What do you think about the Packers?
I love it, man.
You love what?
I love the roster. I love Malik Willis. I love the pickup that they made yesterday.
But they cut a bunch of guys you said they were going to keep.
Jack?
Yeah.
For 1 second a minute, I was wrong.
Wow.
Kalen King.
This is a big night.
What's his name is on injury reserve, so he's out for the year.
Yeah. AJ Dillon.
Yeah, AJ Dillon. What do you think of that? Is that just a way do you think he was going to make it anyway?
I don't know if the mayor was going to make it. I don't know if the mayor of Door County was going to make it this year.
I think this is a good way that they could avoid it for 1 year and keep him, not have to cut him.
Right. I think you'll see a lot of Marshawn Lloyd, a lot of.
If he can ever get off the injured list, for God's sakes.
I mean, when he gets healthy, I think you'll see a lot of Marshawn Lloyd and a lot of Emmanuel Wilson. So I like Emmanuel Wilson though. I think
Okay.
Okay, we got some coming in now.
The green room is filling up. Let me back out, and I will juggle your people. Do you want to go one at a time? How you want to do this, Jack? You're the ringleader.
Doug, bring him because now we're kind of jammed up at the front.
Yeah, so we want to bring in, if we can, Eric Bryson, Calvin, Cody Odegaard, and Jeff Bartland. Those would be the.
Now, hang on, we got a few more coming. I got to add, even though she's a party crasher, Doug, I got to warn you, she's tough. She's one of AJ's biggest fans, and also on the show. She can fit in any crowd. She'd be wonderful. Here she is, Patty Galoon Hansen as well.
What's up, Patty?
This is going to be your AJ. This adventure is going to be AJ Bocchini. This is your life. So these are key people, at least people who could put up with you and willing to talk semi-nicely about you. So with that, I'll turn it over to Doug and the crew.
Well, first of all, if you think these guys that are on the first crew are ready to talk nice about AJ.
It was a joke.
Yeah. So I'll just do quick introductions. Eric, you can see him up there. He's with this tan sitting there coming in from Florida. Eric was played at Whitewater when AJ was managing. His teammate at the time with Cody, Coach Odegaard down there all the way from Poinet, Wisconsin. Cody also was AJ's caregiver at Whitewater. And then finally Calvin coming there. AJ was the manager on the team. These three guys not only are close friends of AJ's, they're close friends of each other's. They still connect and things like that. So I told them that, they got to say, tell an AJ story, but I think they're probably going to feed off each other for a little bit also. So tell an AJ story. Okay. So I'll let him go. I'll let him go. So, Eric, you want, or Cody, why don't you start?
Yeah. You're on mute, Cody.
Oh, Cody, you're on mute there. If you could unmute yourself.
Excuse me. We got to add another one and got another special guest. I know you guys have plenty to say, but in comes Mr. Bob from Mr. Bob's Under the Bridge, Bob Burmeister. Hey, Bob. Everybody's gonna tell an AJ story. Anybody can fire away at any time.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I started doing some caregiving stuff for AJ in 2014, which was definitely a little bit out of a comfort zone for me, but it got me and AJ a lot closer. We were already good friends. It allowed him to be able to go on road trips with our team, and he hadn't been able to do that until 2014. We were able to take him out to Salem for the national championship, which was a great experience, not only for him, but for us as a team to have him there with us. He wasn't there with us in 2012. So he's definitely a big motivator, always a positive guy. He gave me a different outlook on life. He could have definitely woken up every morning and just been pissed off at the world and upset. But every morning I walked into his bedroom, he was ready to go. Always greeted me with a smile. He's like, "Let's go, baby. We're
What's
ready
up, boss? What's up, boss? Ready to go?"
He was always ready to go. The waking up part, the best one was probably after we won the 2014 national championship. And we went to bed probably way later than we should have, and then had to catch a 5 a.m. flight. So a couple hours of sleep, waking up and walking in the door. A bunch of the teammates are on later flights, so they're still sleeping. And he's like, "We're national champions, baby." That was probably one of the best stories I have with AJ.
Yeah, that was my favorite. That was my all-time favorite too. So.
One of my good stories at AJ was his dad when he first brought him over to practice and everything like that. He told Coach Miller, "Hey, just treat him like the rest of the team. Don't worry about anything else. Treat him like the rest of the team." And everyone on the team was super close friends, and we gave each other a ton of crap. And one of AJ's main responsibilities was the shot clock in practice. And usually halfway through practice, 3/4 of the way through practice, AJ usually starts to kind of just doze off on the sidelines. And Miller caught him one time and he brought everyone in to huddle up, and AJ's still over on the sideline by doing the shot clock. And Miller acted like he was telling us something really important, but he's just like, guys, watch this. I'm going to get AJ really good. And all of a sudden he yells over, AJ! And AJ does his little startled thing that he always does in his wheelchair. And he goes, I thought you're supposed to be running the shot clock. And AJ gets all like nervous, like he's in trouble. Like, I'm sorry, coach, I'm sorry. And Miller goes, oh, shut up. I'm just joking around with you. That was one good story. Another good story is we used to go out either to 841 or after a game, and we'd bring AJ around just to come out with us. And we lived in a second story downtown Whitewater, so we'd always have to carry him upstairs coming home. So not only would we have to carry the wheelchair up, but we'd have to carry AJ up too. So thank God we were in shape, because AJ's not getting any lighter. But as we're carrying him up, we're going up and around corners, and we accidentally hit his head on like a wall or something like that. And then he has to stay, and we don't really have an extra bed for him. So we just put pillows on the ground and trying to just lay him on there. You're in college. You're not trying to do the most comfortable thing. Like, we could have put him on the couch, but we just aren't thinking half the time. And biggest thing AJ's kind of impacted in my life and just everyone's life is, like Cody said, just his positivity. Every day at practice, I mean, heck, he'll still call me today and be fired up. Like, he's got a new book coming out and he's just fired up, writing something new, and it doesn't ever seem like he's even got writer's block or anything like that. And he just keeps going. When anyone else in his situation, you might just feel bad for yourself or give up, and he just keeps pushing forward.
I can piggyback off of what Eric was saying there. AJ, do you remember the scrimmage in Milwaukee against MSOE?
I think so.
When we tried to get you on the bus to go home afterwards, and the bus wasn't having it, and so you and I had to stick around and figure out what we were going to do while the entire rest of the team went back to Whitewater.
Oh yes, no, I remember. Remember.
If it weren't for your positivity and upbeat nature of things, we would have never found our way down to AJ Bombers. And I think your quote was, well, at least I got boneless wings. And ended up watching football, and that was the evening. And we had to wait for Cody to get all the way back to Whitewater, go grab the keys to your van, turn around, drive all the way back to Milwaukee just to pick you and I up and drive us all the way back to Whitewater. You could say we were one big happy family that evening once we finally all got back together on our way home from Milwaukee.
Cal, that reminds me of something. AJ, dead of winter. Like, AJ, when he commits to something, he commits to it. Like, I'm going to be there, he's going to be there. And in the dead of winter, it'd be -15 out, -20 out, whatever it is in Wisconsin. And Lucas, one of our buddies, would always pick us up in his car, and as we're going to the gym, you see AJ out there, like, maybe he didn't have a caregiver that morning or something, but found a way to get gloves on his hands, his coat half on, and he's going down the sidewalk with like snow drifts and everything, just cruising the practice, trying to get there. And he gets there, and like, we're thinking he's got like hypothermia or something like that. But anytime he says he's going to be there, or at least try to get there without getting stuck. And oh my gosh, that sticks out like a sore thumb.
I think his energy, though, to speak on like because I was also one of AJ's caregivers in college. Like, I also was there in the early mornings. And I think that neither Cody or I were ones that like to wake up super early or really responded well to alarms. But AJ's willingness to dive into things and throw his energy and just be committed all into things. It was one of those things where Cody and I would have to look at each other, look at ourselves, and be like, well, like, are we really going to deny that energy? We're really not going to show up for that guy. And it became more than just a caregivee relationship. We always just talk about it. It was like our brotherhood. It was our version of that.
You would scare us, though, when we made it into like playoffs, AJ, and storm across the court at halftime and come into the locker room and be shaking in your chair because you were so excited. and saying "let's go" at the top of your lungs. Like we're like, okay, settle down. Even Miller would say that. Settle down, AJ. We still got a whole nother half to play.
Well, you're just lucky you stole your feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
After we won the 2014 national championship, I remember I couldn't even really focus on celebrating. I was more focused on making sure AJ didn't flip out of his wheelchair because he was too busy. Let's go. It's just going to be a great thing. And that was chaos, but just pure fun at the same time.
AJ, you have to do that on our show in the future. Whenever it's time for your segment, I want you to scream, "Let's go." I need that on the show.
I got you. You can do that.
I'm surprised he hasn't already. That's like one of his signature moves.
Hey, hit it, Age.
Let's go.
Oh, you're better than that.
I see coffee mugs. I see bumper stickers. This is going to work out really well for the library.
He's still probably thinking about like AJ Dillon or something.
How long are the hallways at your offices?
Only one way to find out, right, Kel?
I mean, you used to be able to do 18 widths of the court in a minute. We timed you.
That's when he had his fast chair, though. We had to slow him down as he got older.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now it's comfort, not speed. I got you.
Yeah, we couldn't give him the one that went 8 miles an hour anymore. So we had to turn it down.
AJ, what's a story you remember?
You guys remember when Miller told me not to go to practice that day, and I showed up anyway?
Yeah, we do.
Which Packers Sunday?
It was I think it was during winter break, and it was like negative 20 outside. And Miller told me not to go, and we were taking a winter course, and I showed up anyway because I was like, I'm only here for basketball anyway. So yeah.
I feel like there'd be a traffic helicopter that come overhead and just be like, and we have AJ Bocchini stuck in a drift over here on Highway 14. We'll hope for the best.
Well, to the credit of these guys, yeah, I think AJ only missed one class ever, and it was only because that because he couldn't. The elevator didn't work to get him to the second floor.
That's right.
The greatest part is when I would go to class, and the professor would be like, "Where's Cody?" And I'd be like, "I don't know. He got me up this morning."
I got up early. I had to go back and take my nap.
That class was tough, right, Coach?
Hey, when it was snowing out though, that power chair of yours in college got me home pretty well. I'd always ride on the back of that thing, give him a little traction.
It did.
That is funny. You'd wake up more to get him up than you would to go to class.
100%.
Cody's like the sandbags you put in the back of a pickup truck in the middle of February.
That was me on the back of AJ's lift.
If we could, I want to bring in Patty and Mr. Bob, who know AJ from a couple different angles than you guys, but I'm sure they also have some good stories about it. Now, Patty is like AJ's biggest co-show host fan, and Mr. Bob runs Mr. Bob's Under the Bridge, our outreach program for the homeless in Milwaukee, and both of them know AJ is full of it. So, either you guys want to say hello and give us a little bit about AJ?
You want to go, Bob?
Patty, ladies first.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I don't have like big sports stories and college stories to tell. I can only talk about what I know of AJ and through the radio and through the book that I read that he wrote. And AJ, I sat down, I started yesterday, and I sat down and started to think about all the things that I wanted to bring up about you and say about you and tell the world about you, actually. And I started writing, and I'm like, oh my God, there's so much. So I hope you don't mind, but I had to write it all down. So if I'm reading it, it's because I couldn't remember it otherwise. So I just wanted to say that you are a man whose spirit and determination not only have overcome physical challenges, but also inspired countless others to push beyond their limits. As the sports guy, you've brought enthusiasm, knowledge, and an infectious passion for sports and life. You've shown us what it truly means to be a champion. You've faced obstacles that would make many of us feel defeated. You've given motivational speeches to young and old alike. You've written a book that encourages all to face our own challenges with courage and resilience. Personally, you've inspired me by watching your approach on life. With your unwavering determination, it has made me realize that we all have the power to overcome our own battles, no matter the size. You've shown me that strength isn't just about physical ability, but about the will to keep moving forward, no matter what the odds. I love your story in your book about when you've got your first motorized wheelchair and you had your first epic crash. And the technician said, well, I think we should turn the torque down. After reading that, I thought to myself, he may have turned the torque down on his wheelchair, but no one could turn down the torque you display in life. So here's to you, AJ. You are a true inspiration, a relentless fighter, and a reminder to all of us that with the right mindset, we can finish anything we start.
Thanks, Patty. Appreciate it.
Thank you, AJ, for being such an inspiration, not only to me, but to so many other people whose lives you've touched. And I'm sorry I had to read it, but I couldn't have gotten it all out otherwise.
It's all good. Thank you, Patty.
It was great, Patty.
Thanks, Bob.
So who else? Mr. Bob, you were going to get on and talk a little bit, and then when you're done, we'll introduce some of the new people that have joined us. So thank you.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I'm not really sure how I met AJ. I think one time he just showed up at one of our sorting nights at Outreach, and it was amazing to me how much popcorn he could actually eat. We always have whenever AJ comes to our Outreach sorting nights, we always have to make a fresh batch of popcorn, and of course, it's all over the floor for the most part. But I think you're getting better at that, AJ. So we haven't seen you for a while, so you got to come back and have some popcorn with us. But again, I think the thing that amazes me most about you is I can have a conversation with you, and it's just like there's nothing going on. It's you and I, right? I love picking his brain about sports. I'm not a big sports guy, but I like sports. So he can tell me, what the numbers are, what the games are, what the, just about everything that, that can be known about sports. So I appreciate that part of it. I think most of all, though, is you being at those sorting nights, AJ, makes a big impact on our volunteers, too. Because, they're saying, hey, if AJ can do it, we can do it, too. And we can, support him, and along with him supporting us. And you're just a joy to have there. I don't know if you said let's go, but I think you should start saying that at sorting nights too.
I will.
Love you, AJ.
Love you, Mr. Bob.
So, Mr. Bob, Patty, thank you so very, very much. And you can hang on. I'm connecting with Jack to say when do people, if people have to jump off, feel free. But thank you. And again, the guys can stay on as long as Jack keeps us going. But Eric, Calvin, Cody, the guys have always been family for us for so many years, and love you guys to death. Can't thank you enough from the entire Bocchini family. And as I said, Patty, Mr. Bob, all of you become AJ's family. So with that, I got to introduce a few more players.
I gotta run. So AJ, love you. And thank you so much for all you do, for just not me, but for everyone that touches you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Patty.
Bye,
Patty. Thank you. So down below, and I'll introduce all three of them, and then I'll start from the beginning. So we might as well start with the youngest, not the youngest guy here. I guarantee you that. That's Coach Rader on the bottom. I think he's going to be the old man of the crew, I'd say. But Coach Rader was and still is the high school basketball coach at Kohler High School, and had AJ through middle school and everything else. So I know he has several things to say about him. Then we have Wes over there. Wes is an assistant coach at Whitewater. And again, Wes, I apologize. I'm blanking out at what college you're at right now, but you're at where?
Highland Community College.
Yes, and Wes has taken the administrative role over there. And finally, the up and coming coach, the up and coming head assistant coach over at Western Illinois, Coach Henke, and we're real excited to have him. And he was with AJ before. And believe it or not, those other Coach Henke, Coach West, can probably tell you as many bad stories about Cody, Calvin, and Eric than anybody can.
They don't want us to go in on those stories.
And look who
hey, look at the kid.
Sorry, we got Philly on the bottom. By the way, Philly, whose real name is Jeff. AJ didn't know it until 7 years into knowing him. But thanks for joining. So let's turn it over to the coaches first and start with Coach Rader.
Hey guys, Coach Rader. I guess I started knowing AJ when he was born. I had the great fortune of living in Kohler when AJ was born, and then I guess there's tons of stories when you grow up with a kid in middle school, and certainly perseverance is one of the things that was crazy out of AJ. I can remember he had one of our favorite aides to be with him, Sue Dex, would always help him, and there wasn't anything he couldn't do in math class. It just was great to always have him around. And you guys are telling stories at Whitewater. AJ was falling asleep at the clock at Kohler well before he was falling asleep at Whitewater. So he had a lot of practice doing that. He got so excited getting to practice one day. I'm sitting in our office, and I can remember he was supposed to be slowing down to turn the corner. We don't have a good ADA accessible, and he comes around the back corner to come in the door, and he literally just jams the whole left side of his chair just straight up. And, the controller goes up, and all he does is yell, "Let's go, let's go." And I'm thinking, your parents are going to kill me. But the story that sticks out to me, and I know your mother's probably there. If I know she's there, she's gonna remember this. Probably, AJ, you might have been like 7, and we took Bo, I don't know if you remember this. We took a bus ride down to a Brewer game, and I think AJ, we all had T-shirts with your picture on them, I think, and I think he was he going to be the first pitch or something, and and AJ wanted to play a little catch in the parking lot, and it was crazy, Eric, when you told your story, because this one's going to be very, very similar. And AJ's like, "Coach, I want to play some catch," and I'm just this relatively new guy. I'm not sure how Lisa actually trusted me to take him out of the chair. I married into a family that was very close to the Bocchini family, and so we're out there, and somebody throws us a ground ball, and he's like, "Coach, we got to get this. We got to get this." Well, he got a little top heavy, and so we're out in the parking lot, and his forehead bounces off of the pavement. And this is the one thing that stuck out with me. Lisa probably knows about it, and she's forgiven me, I hope. But the one thing is, he turned his head and he looked at me and he goes, "Did we make the catch?" And to me, it was a sign of his ultimate competitiveness. And he needed everybody at different times, and they gave him what he needed. But his just true spirit of life and competitiveness. And AJ, I'm sorry. I know that probably wasn't the first shot on the noggin you took, but I felt bad. I mean, I still am feeling bad to this day, obviously, but you've recovered well. So that's just the one thing that you left with me, Age. Every time we get together, Saturday, and, the times when you were struggling during COVID, and we would drop some notes, and, just the way you're resilient and your spirit of life. The guys already said it. I mean, anybody that's around you knows. But to me, it's like one of the best things we always did, and I'm sure you guys did at Whitewater, was, as soon as anybody would say, "Oh, I can't do this, I can't do this," and when AJ's in the gym, it's really easy to just turn and look and say, "Oh, really?" Because he can. And so you're telling me you can't. And so, I've been around sports all my life, AJ, but you're a real sports hero. So thanks for whatever I've given you, but thanks for everything you've given to me.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach. Coach Wes.
How we all doing?
I need sunglasses. You're blinding me with that bald spot on your top of your head.
Oh, right. I'm trying to catch her with Pat Miller a little bit. Hopefully he's not listening. No. How, you doing good, AJ?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. This is so much fun. I've known AJ, most of you all know, since coming up at Whitewater. I mean, I was a student manager with AJ at the moment you guys let me in. So I feel like I'm the last one to the group. So I'm so glad to be part of the family, of course. So, but so we my duties with AJ, we ran the clock, and Calvin can contest to that. We had a lot of fun times with that clock and swapping out AJ's shot clock with the real horn buzzer. So once in a while, what's that?
Coach Rader pointed something out. AJ swore to us he never made a mistake before that one incident, so something's not adding up here. AJ, that's why I wanted confirmation from you, Wes. He was perfect before that, right?
100%. Never made a mistake. Yeah.
What Cal said was my math doesn't always add up.
Yeah, we always had a pull prank. Like, we swapped out the shot clock with the horn. So when you hit the reset, the horn would go off in the middle of practice, and then Pat would look over and, "What are you doing, AJ?" So always good times. But man, I could tell a lot of different stories. A lot of them probably wouldn't be appropriate right here, but maybe later on. But one of my favorites was us managers. We used to have to clean the floor before practice, and we had this long, wooden board that we'd pull this wet rag behind, and we had to mop the floor pretty much. And man, that thing was a pain. And so we'd do that every practice. AJ would be showing up a few minutes later before everyone else would come up, always checking in on us and making sure we're doing good. And man, this one day, AJ comes in and he had this great idea, and he always has great ideas. He's like, "Why don't we hook up the rug behind me and I'll just go around in circles?" I was like, this genius. Why are we doing this whole year, man? He's like, "Yeah, too bad it's my last practice with y'all and I'm all done." So yeah, we had some good times. So it was always creative, and just honestly, I think just this environment right now with all of us together, I think that says a lot, because it wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for AJ. So I think it's something pretty special. Like you said in your book, F for family. So it really is true. So, but I'll turn over the mic to Kyle next.
I'm excited to be here. No, just like Wes, this is a cool deal, AJ. It's good to be on here, and I'm really thankful that you guys reached out to me. But in terms of stories, I mean, we all have a bunch of them. We talked a lot about them. But to me, it's more so your presence. Being around you is the biggest thing. When we started the whole coaching thing, Wes and I got into this thing a long time ago at Whitewater. If you know Whitewater's layout, you got the one coach's office, maybe 10 feet by 10 feet, right? You had 4 grown men in there. You had me, Wes, Coach Bennett, Coach Gibbs, all jam-packed into that office, questioning a lot of life decisions when we're in there, hotter than you know what, sweating, wondering what we're doing with our lives and how we ended up here, dealing with Eric and Cody and those guys too. That made you question a lot of stuff. But our day always turned around when you saw AJ peek his head around the corner. That's when things got better. It was always the shoes first, because the chair would come in, you see the shoes, then you see the peak of the head, and then the day was on. So it was those are the stories that I will always remember. Is just your presence. You got the calming, comforting, confident energy, and just being around you. You've given speeches, you've written books, and you said a lot of things, but it's being around you, and it's your presence. And some of the things, when you asked, how has he made it, how's AJ made an impact on my life? You think back, and you go through a lot of things in your head. And really, when I was thinking about it, it's more so like you have your challenges. Everybody has their challenges, good days, bad days, whatever it may be. But when you're around AJ, you never know that he has a challenging or a bad day, if that makes sense. He's always in a positive mind frame. Great guy, great energy. And it's just the fact that we got to be around you, and you got to be in our presence is probably the biggest thing that I can say, how you've impacted my life, and some of the things that I've taken from you. So, again, I thank you very much for having me on here. I feel like I'm at home. A lot of you guys, man, it brings me back to my roots. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Thank you.
So, we're good. I think we have we think Cody, you just jumping off right now, or we had one jump off. I think we're trying to get Coach Miller on the line.
Oh, maybe I won't hop off then. I'll stay on.
Yeah, you better be the one that stays on.
No, I'm just kidding. I'll hop off. AJ, thank you so much. Doug, thanks for letting me be a part of this tonight. It was awesome. AJ, we'll talk to you later this week.
Yes,
Cody, always a pleasure.
All right, love you guys.
Love
See
you,
ya.
Cody.
Bo,
I'm
I'm gonna go too, Bo, because we got to sell concessions. So thanks so much for asking me to be part of this. And AJ, just remember, Monday night we're not going to let Coach Bird do what he wants in that draft, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's make sure your daddy can do whatever he wants, but not Coach Bird.
Yeah, fantasy football, Monday night picks. So
I like how we're trying to make picks right now.
Thanks again, guys, for asking me to be part of this.
Coach, thank you so much.
Great to see you guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey,
love you, brother.
Yep, love you.
AJ, I'm gonna hop out too. I got to go eat dinner. So thanks a lot for inviting me to this, Jack and AJ. You know how I feel about you.
Thanks, Mr. Bob.
Thanks, Mr. Bob. We'll see you soon at the benefit.
All right, thank you.
I'm trying to get a couple guys. Jack, you can come back on, or if you're sending people. Coach Henke, how are things going down there? How's the team going to be this year?
Should be good. We should be really, really good. I feel like the last 24 hours I've been working for Pat again. I haven't gotten more text messages and calls from him. So having me send him links and what time are we on? And it's like I'm back in Whitewater. I'm having flashbacks down here. So hopefully we win as many games as we did up in Whitewater. So
yeah. So good recruits coming in.
Oh yeah, we got a good class. We feel good about it. We feel really good about it. So 21 wins last year, and we're on par talent wise, probably a little bit deeper this season than we were last season. Just see if I guess it comes down to if we can coach or not. So we'll see what happens.
You got a lot of transfers or high school kids?
We all transfers. Unique place. So in this we lot of 4-year guys and junior college guys, and just try to piece together. So yeah, we're excited. We're really excited about it.
You guys get much NIL over there?
What's that?
Yeah, maybe answers the question.
Western Illinois NIL is nil. They got
nil.
Yeah. We make it work. That's all I can say. We make it work. We find a way.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Wes? Anything else from your end?
I got out of the coaching, do the academic advising, so I get to take care of all the population for Highland students, and I love it. It's great. It's a good atmosphere. I'm not only just helping 15 now, I'm helping close to about 400 students, so it's nonstop. But yeah, it's a great atmosphere, and I like the community college. It's smaller atmosphere for the students, and a little bit more hands-on, but the legend's in the house, and it looks like he's on the beach. It kind of looks like a little bit.
Oh,
and everything.
We caught him at golden hour.
What's going on?
Coach Miller, Coach. So we apologize for all the hassle, but
it was Kyle's fault. Kyle kept sending me the wrong link.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you what came up when I opened them. I'm still a little traumatized.
Yeah. You only contact me when you need something, Patrick.
That's untrue.
He was just saying that. Hey, all I could tell you is when Odegaard heard you were getting online, he decided to jump off real quick. So we had the threesome on. We had Cody, Calvin, and Philly all on at the same time, and they just popped off.
Three guys that all think they could shoot, and none of them could guard their shadow.
Hey, in the manager's game, I think Heike, myself, and AP are 1-0 over Wes and Gibbs and who's the other one? Anyway, we won that game. I hit my shots then.
You look slim back then too. We all look
100%.
Calvin looked slim. Wes had hair. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I might even have hair back then.
Yeah, just a little bit. That's what happens when you work for Pat right there. Just gravity right there.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Coach, the floor is yours. Floor is yours for a little bit. So go ahead.
All right. So my favorite AJ story was the middle of the year, and it was going to be like 40 below zero. All kinds of weather advisories, awful weather. And I told him, I said, hey, I don't want you coming to practice tomorrow, because he was coming across in his chair. I said, it's too close. And he's like, no, I'm coming to practice, boss. And I said, no, you're not. You're not coming. And he's like, I'm going to come. I'm coming tomorrow. And I said, AJ, if you come tomorrow, you're fired. And he got this crazy look on his face, and he looked at me and he said, you can't fire me. I'm a volunteer. I said, yeah, I can. You'll be the first volunteer coach in the history of athletics to get fired. And then my other one I liked, and I wish Nick was still on, but Nick would stand next to AJ, and I'd turn my back, and he'd throw a ball and hit me in the back. And then he'd look at AJ and say, AJ, why are you throwing the ball at Coach? And AJ would have a petrified look on his face.
Every time.
So we remember Coach when how this all got started is Coach was recruiting down at Franklin High School, and he was looking at a kid. He was actually looking at a kid, a good friend of mine. I grew up next to his. I grew up next door to his dad in Milwaukee. Last name was Krieger, and it just so happened that he was at Matt Krieger and Q were playing the same game.
Yep.
And he came and he came over to AJ. We just came down, and we hadn't seen them in a few years. We came down to watch the game, and Coach just happened to be there. That's the first time we met. A coach comes over and sees AJ in his Whitewater shirt, and I said, Coach, AJ's just like mesmerized. He's just shaking. He's mesmerized. And I said, you have anything to ask Coach? And I'm thinking he's going to ask him, like, why did Nolan Free quit last year or some crazy. He goes, you think I can manage next year? And the coach says, sure. Well, in typical AJ fan, Coach says, yeah, call me in the fall. Well, typical AJ, he's calling him 3 days later and said, 2 weeks later, he's calling him in January. Coach said, call me in September, basically. AJ's calling him 2 weeks later.
And just so you know, 99% of the people I say that to don't call me.
Yeah. One story I remember was I was in middle class, and the U won the national championship in Miller sense. So can anyone tell me how stout beat Stevens Point? And the reason he goes, you can't answer, you were there. I'm like, fair enough, I was there.
It's funny.
Do you have any other stories to tell about any of these guys? Any good ones, funny ones, anything with Coach Miller?
Wes, I don't know if you remember this, Wes, if you still the recruiting trip we went on to go, I think it was Fife at the time. We went to go watch Fife play. Wes took me on a recruiting trip all the way down to Kennebury and Lutheran. And it was one of the nights I remember because Wes took me there, and we took I still have that selfie, by the way. That's in the bed. You drive in the van, taking a selfie at the same time. And it's one of the nights I remember because I was I think it was in my last, like, I was on the fence about managing, but that was just a night I always remember. Because it was a 2-hour bus ride. It was just us two, and it was awesome. So that's the story I always remember.
Yeah, you're leaving out the part where you're drinking beers too after watching Mitch.
Yeah.
You gotta always have those victory beers afterwards, man, when you go recruiting. So
These are important details I don't need to know about.
Yeah.
don't worry, it wasn't on the tip-off card. It came out of the pocket. So
no. We can tell these stories now.
That was a
Every
fun
time he
night.
has a drink, he starts to drink it. I'll have one of these. He starts to drink, goes.
Before I jump off, like Wes is talking there. Wes and AJ, they when they'd come to that office and they would have dance offs, and we would have jam sessions. So it was dance offs and rap battles. So I got some classic videos that I'll share with you guys off air. Also, we got
this is all disturbing. I have to go back. It's good seeing everybody. This is all stuff I never need to know about. You guys got to go.
The Phil Collins in the air tonight. Calvin's part of that. We got a little ritual before every game that we would play a little Phil Collins and sit in the office.
100%.
We don't. AJ would take the reins on it, and he can sing. He can sing now, so don't let him tell you any different. So,
well, as Coach Miller jumped off, thankfully he's retired, because any story, he gets his pension one way or the other. They can't fire him anymore.
Yeah.
So you guys can tell just about it.
He looks retired. He looked like he was at a bar already where he was sitting.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to jump off. Thank you,
Coach,
guys.
thank
I
you so
appreciate
much.
that. Yep, thank you so much. Good to see you guys.
Thank you.
I'm going to hop off as well. We'll see you guys.
Guys, Eric, thank you, everybody. Take care.
Thanks for joining in, guys.
Here.
Thank you.
I'm going to take off as well. AJ, it was great to see you. Wes, love you, buddy. Miss you. AJ, Mr. B, Mrs. B, thank you.
Yeah, love you, buddy. You take care of yourself.
Man.
Yeah, all the best. So, you want to do the introductions now, Jack? I've been doing everyby else, and
well,
the gentleman in front of us. But
you know what they say: the bottom of the barrel is rising to the top. I have two AJ super fans here. One is Russell Meyer, who was such a big fan of the show. He ventured out to meet AJ one time. AJ couldn't believe it. He'd heard Russell's name for many years over many things, and Russell showed up actually. So Russell's in one corner. And then in the other corner is Mel Stanton of Mel's Charities. Mel is the one who actually introduced us, but I think we should start with Russell and say, Russell, what was it like for you when you finally met the man, the myth, the legend, AJ in person?
Well, I actually remember back when Mel was introducing you and Bulldog to AJ Bocchini, the sports star. And it was an impressive day, and Mel, being the good guy that he is, put the right person in the right spot with a couple of goofs who turned him into a star. So I had to meet AJ, and it so happened he was going down to watch the downriver canoe race, another Mel's event. So I went down and met him and tried my best to keep him out of the river.
You had read his book, AJ and no,
at the river. That's where AJ gave me a copy of his book.
Oh, nice.
And then I read the book, and it just reaffirmed what a wonderful, amazing person AJ is. When I think of AJ, I think of F's like faith, family, and friends, and he has an abundance of all of those, and it really shows. And the biggest thing that I've noticed in AJ's time as sports celebrity on the Jack Henke show and now having his own show is the level of confidence and the way he's improved how he articulates, how you articulate your thoughts. And now when I get the chance to watch and get AJ's positive thought at the end of the show, it's very inspiring. And I can't say how happy I am to have met you, AJ. And I'm a big fan, and glad you have chosen to use your challenge as a platform because you're an inspiration to a lot of people.
Thank you, Russ. I mean, a lot come from that too. And I like what you've said there, Russ. The challenge is a platform. CP is, to me, is not a disability; it's a platform to show others what's possible.
Well, I'm not happy about it because AJ used to take a lot of. He doesn't take any shit anymore. It's not as much fun to pick on him as it was at the beginning.
It's fun to watch.
Lord knows I'm here for it.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God. Well said, Russell. Mel, what do you have to add to the table? Can you believe you brought us together just over 2 years ago?
You know, as I said, first of all, what the heck happened today? All of a sudden, it's like AJ Day. It just crossed like TMZ and Fox News and CNN. It's like, I mean, there could be a nuclear holocaust, and it seems like everything is taking over. It's AJ Bocchini Day. I had to enter a blasted studio to get into this, and something I had to click. So, you know, Russ nails it too a little bit there, but Russ, I remember, I mean, I know our lives have crossed a little bit, but that day of that, when we were trying, you know, those kayaks down by Veterans Park where you guys hooked up. But, you know, I'm a big believer now. I think God has a reason to bring us all together. And Phil Comrath, who hopefully is going to be able to jump on here.
He is. He's on. He's just joined us.
He has the internet, huh?
He does.
I thought we'd see him downstairs in the basement with like one light bulb swinging with like the lights off. Like, how does this work?
Upgraded a little bit.
No, Phil's probably better than I am. But this was perfect timing, and I'll just, you know, Phil reached out to me and said, I'd like you to meet this guy named AJ Bocchini. No idea who he was, and I didn't know, you know, his story. And he came over to our world headquarters, and I say this all the time. AJ Bocchini does not have a disability in my eyes. I don't see him that way. AJ's got just as much ability as everybody else. It's just that he goes about it in a different way. I used to run from guys like AJ when I was younger. I used to, even in adulthood, you know, it would be like try to be a little bit nice. And he's changed my life. He's changed a lot of the mission for Mel's. I heard something about a month ago. We complicate life. The AJs of the world simplify it. You know, they just sort of live for the moment. They're appreciative of whatever they got. We're upset if we don't have Wi-Fi for 5 seconds. You know, so it does give you a different perspective in life. And then when Phil said, hey, you know, he's trying to find himself, he's trying to do some stuff, and all of a sudden, you know, Jack, our lives got a little bit closer, which is kind of scary.
Very.
As long as it wasn't at bar time at Whistler's, and it's all right. So, you know, Jack said him and Bulldog were trying to, you know, add a third person and a sports person, and we had a couple of people in mind. And after talking to AJ, I'm like, man, Jack, you got to meet him. And to see now where this has gone, as far as, you know, what you guys do daily, and then AJ having a show, you know, to empower, engage, and impact so many people, you know, through the medium that you're doing. And I know, Jack, it's affected you, man, you know, and that brings a lot to me, that when you can introduce more and more people to the AJs of the world, and Ross and Andy and Aaron, it will change your life. And I can see, even though you and Bulldog can be some of the most obnoxious, crass people I've ever, you know, heard on. I'm waiting for Bulldog to come.
To Mel's point, we have a little news to share. This is carry on, everybody.
There it is. That's what usually you guys do. But to just see the camaraderie, and you guys don't stick in your little Hollywood square cubes. You guys are out and about in the public. You know, you're in parades. You're going to events. You're showing that you guys, this just isn't a bunch of smoke and mirrors, that you guys are actual friends. And that means the world to me, to see how this relationship is growing. AJ and Doug, I mean, you know how much I love you guys. And you know that it's literally, we're just getting started here with your relationship now with Chapman, and, you know, moving out to Bulldogs world out in Saukville to be able to do what we're doing. Things are only get brighter and better. So God bless. I mean, I know Phil's got to say some stuff here, but thanks for letting me get in this AJ studio tonight. No, thank you so much, Mel. You've done so much for us. So greatly I can't thank you enough. It's you've definitely, I mean, you have your own family and you brought us into that family with all the people from Mel's, and we can't appreciate it.
Well, there was a lot of background check because of this Bocchini Mafia thing, so we had to do an extensive background check.
No, it was that full cavity search that always gets me, Jack.
Start your car slowly tomorrow, Mel.
Then you enjoy.
Before Phil talks, so I do have to, and not that I'm going to let Phil talk, but I do have one person that joined us, Sue Dexheimer, who was AJ's aide from the time when he entered Kohler School. I know she only looks like she's about 39, but you know she's been around the block. Was AJ's aide for many years and has many AJ stories. But Phil, you feed off of that. But Susie D, thank you for joining, and look, and you can stay on to tell a couple AJ stories.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks, Phil.
Yeah. Oh, this is cool to see AJ out here again. It's been a while. We haven't been together in a long time. I mean, but when I first met you, it was just a fantastic thing to get to meet you and get out there and do stuff. I know getting to the Chinooks and becoming the ice cream man was a big thing. We had a lot of great nights out there. That was fantastic. And then all the trips. I've gotten to take you to a bunch of speaking engagements all over southeastern Wisconsin. You know, I spent a lot of time in that van, which is a lot of fun. So it's been great.
I still owe you about 3 or 4 luncheons, so yeah.
And now we suckered you into coaching, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's fun too.
Got you out there coaching little T-ball, which was really good. We had a whole new crew coaching T-ball this past year, and AJ was a big part of that. So we really appreciate that. Thanks, AJ.
Phil, thank you for all you do. And when we met Phil took us over to AJ's got into Mequon now, and Coach Crater couldn't get on earlier and then had to drop off. But Phil called, talked to us about getting over on Mequon. He said, and all of a sudden he goes over there and he said, I got to talk to a buddy of mine named Tom Price. And then, Tom can help us get into Mequon. But it ends up that I grew up with Tom Price in Kohler. Oh. And so that's a small world. And Tom and I met and I played high school football with his 2 older brothers and things like that. So small world, and got AJ in, and the rest right now is history. So, but again, thank you for everything, Phil. And
you're welcome. And AJ, you still owe me, I don't know how many different lunches. I mean, it's got to be at least a half a dozen lunches.
We're up to 8 now, Phil.
8? All right. I'm keeping track. At least I know where I'm at.
Susie D.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Amazing.
Hi, AJ.
So can you give us a little background,
Sure.
Susie, on yourself and how you got to know AJ?
Yep, I've known AJ since he was 4 years old, and his mom brought him to Kohler School for his first school experience, and he came to meet the teacher and see the classroom and to meet me. And then he was stuck with me for many, many years, and we did a lot of learning and had a lot of fun. And he taught me more than I was ever able to teach him. I'm not exactly sure how old he was when he got his first power wheelchair, but I remember standing in the hall with his mom and the wheelchair tech and myself, and all of a sudden he took out the milk machine at school. Oh my gosh, and they talk about women drivers.
Incoming.
One of my favorite movies is Smokey and the Bandit and the Cannonball Run. It sounds like that's AJ right there.
And he ran over my toes more times than I would like to count. But
that's why Susie's sitting down. That's why Susie D is sitting down right now.
But and then I remember one time he was on a walk with the Bocchini family, and they walked around Wood Lake, and somehow AJ ended up in the lake with his power chair. And I think Lisa went in after him, and somebody lost their glasses. And but the most devastating thing about that was he was supposed to go and help Tom Desautels, the basketball coach at North, and he was supposed to work his Whiz Kids camp. And his power chair was out of commission. So I remember my husband said to me, well, why don't you take him? And I go, me? What am I going to do at a basketball camp? But long story short, I did take him. And he ran the clock, and he was really a big asset to the camp and to all the other little campers that were there. All these kids look up to him, not only the little girls when he was 4 years old, and everybody wanted to mother him. And we still do. And he's a pretty amazing dude. But one of the things that I remember when he was graduating from Whitewater, and he has his master's, he's way smarter than me, but he called me up and he said, hey, Mrs. D, you saw me start off. I thought maybe you'd like to see me finish. Would you like to come to see me graduate at Whitewater? Well, you didn't have to ask me twice. It was such, I can't tell you the pride and the honor I felt to be there and see him wheeling across the stage. He was just, he made us all proud, right, Doug? So I could go on and on, but I think I probably talked enough. But it was just a joy to know him, and it still is. He still calls me up. I love getting his phone calls. I put my husband in on them too now, and it's just such a joy, and I'm so happy to be part of This Is My Life, AJ Bocchini, or Your Life. And I'm honored that I was a part of it.
Thank you.
Glad you got on, Mrs. D, or whatever they call you. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I feel like a glass of milk right now.
Is that milk or milk? Oh man.
Is there like ending music, or is there?
Yeah. I think we're getting to that time. Does anybody have any other stories that have been possibly missed in this romp of mayhem through AJ's career and life? Anybody like to add anything?
This better not be the only time we do this. I think there's just going to be more and more as AJ's life continues to grow and prosper, and I think we'll all be hooking up more, and these squares will get smaller and smaller because of all the lives that he's going to be touching. And as long as we get bulldogs just a little bit smaller each time, it gets better and better.
But from us, from our entire family, again, we are truly blessed. For everybody, I know there were so many people on here tonight. There are others that, again, due to technical difficulties, we didn't get them on. Coach Crater and Mequon and Coach Chapman, it was his camp and things like that. Again, it's been amazing, and every day, one of our family, we're here today, introduces AJ to somebody new, and he meets so many new people each and every day. And that as much as he impacts others, they impact him and our entire family so much. So I can say from the bottom of our hearts, from his two brothers, Dominic, Douglas, who, again, they were glad they gave up their seats not to be on here today because they felt like they had to say something nice about the kid then. And to his mother and my wife for 37 years. Again, wow. Thank you. Yeah.
Talk about endurance. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh. All right. God bless you. you guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Hey,
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, everybody.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks,
AJ.
Mel.
Big part of this.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Nice to meet you, Susan D.
Jack Bulldog.
Hey, pulled it off.
We're still watch your language. We're still on.
We're still on. I was supposed to have an ending theme song. This is the best ending.
Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo.